I'm a CPA. I live in Portland, Oregon with my husband, and I work full-time. I first started coming to Mexico in 1971 on a bus trip with my college Spanish class. But my parents started coming to Puerto Vallarta in the 90s, spending a month here, and they loved it. The weather, the people, the food. So my father started encouraging me to maybe buy a house here. And with the help of my excellent realtor, Harriet Murray, I found this place here in 2003, I think. Yeah, I've owned it for 8 years. I decided to invest here because I love having a place on the beach, and most places in the US are far too expensive if you want to get as close to the beach as you can here. It's millions of dollars in California or Florida or Hawaii, but in Mexico it's still very reasonable. Most of my family and friends come down here too. I think part of the fun of having a vacation home here, especially one this large, is that you can provide cost-free vacations for all of your friends and family, which I enjoy. My place is very large and it sleeps up to 10 people comfortably, and my friends love coming down here to stay with me, and I like having them here, and my family too. Buying a place here was really, really easy, especially having a wonderful realtor like Harriet Murray. But I mean that, all kidding aside, it made it very simple for me. A lot of Americans are afraid of purchasing here because they hear that you can't actually own real estate outright, or it's very difficult. And that's actually not true at all. They're close to the coastline and the borders, and I'm not an expert on this, but you do have to own a home through a bank trust, but it's more to protect you. It's not for the government to come in and appropriate your property whenever you want it. And it's never been a problem since then, and I've owned this place for 8 years. I may be biased, but I think this place has the most beautiful view in all of Vallarta. We're up in a hill. My decision was whether to be beachfront or on the hill, and I decided to be up on the hill because I have a gorgeous view year-round, city lights, seeing the ships come in, and almost the entire, well, not almost, the entire Banderas Bay is visible from every room in my house, because of the way it's situated on the hill. My plans for the future are to keep a place in Mexico, probably here in Vallarta, but when I originally bought this, I had more family and friends that were coming down here a lot, and now not so much, so it's a little bit too big for me now. So that's mainly the reason why I'm selling it now. I think it'd be better for me to have somewhere smaller, but I couldn't recommend it any more highly to anyone from the US who wants a vacation home. My name is Terry. I'm a CPA from Portland, Oregon, and I first started coming to Mexico in 1971 on a bus trip with my college Spanish class. I grew up in Ashland, Oregon, and our sister city was Guanajuato, Mexico. And that was a long, long time ago, but I remember really, really enjoying the trip. And since then, my parents started spending winter time vacations in Puerto Vallarta. And my father encouraged me then to maybe look into buying a place here because the values were so good and it's such a beautiful city. And at the time we were considering vacation homes in Hawaii or maybe California, somewhere on the beach. And there it would cost you millions of dollars to have a place even near the beach. And here you can be right on the sand or up looking over it for nowhere near the kind of cost it would be in Hawaii. So that was appealing to me then. That was what made me think about investing here. And my husband and I came down here in 2002, I believe, and we're introduced to the best real estate agent in the city, Harriet Murray. She showed us a number of properties then. We couldn't decide whether we wanted to be beachfront or beach view, and we chose Villa Solana here, which is up on a hill with one of the best views in all of Vallarta, in my unbiased opinion. And we've never been happier. This is the most perfect place. It's a very large home, large enough to have all of our friends and family here visiting us. It sleeps about, well, we've had 13 people in the house. It sleeps 13 comfortably, but generally maybe 8 or 10. My friends and family love coming down here and vacationing with me. The house is very large, over almost 5,000 square feet with a pool terrace. And we can spend all day, every day here, never have to go into town, but there's lots of things to do in Vallarta. It's a year-round resort, and so everyone always likes coming here. The purchase price, the purchase process, for me, I found that to be very easy. Again, having the best real estate in the city, Harriet Murray, made it easy for me. There's a lot of confusion and doubts and fear about buying real estate outside the U.S., particularly in Mexico. That wasn't my experience. Here, along the coast and along some of the borders, you do have to use a bank trust, but that's more to protect the buyer, not to make it easy for the government to come and appropriate your property. And that process was not the least bit difficult. It's never been a problem since, just an additional fee that you pay every year to have the bank continue to hold the trust. So I didn't find it difficult. Transferring money back and forth to Mexico is also not difficult. Traveling back and forth to Mexico is not difficult. There's lots of planes that come here every day, lots of choices, the costs aren't high. There's lots of press right now about violence in Mexico. That's not been my experience at all, particularly not in Vallarta. There's no narco activity here. This isn't a big drug town. And I think we're starting to see that change now. There's more tourist boats coming in and ships and more tourists in town. So I think it's only going to get better. Activities here, there's always something to do. But my favorite thing is to sit up at the pool terrace and lounge around all day long doing nothing. I don't really, Portland, Oregon, where I'm from, is very rainy, and so I don't miss that at all. It's never, the weather is always good in Vallarta, a little bit hot in the summer, and that's rainy season, but generally doesn't rain all day, just storms that blow over and clear the air. My advice for anyone considering living or owning a vacation property in Mexico is there's no reason not to do it, especially if you go through Harriet Murray at Cochrane Real Estate. That one, it seems more reading on that one, but I know, I just want to get through it. I didn't leave you many breaks, did I? Sorry.
How do we do fruit time?